What's up, guys? Welcome back to Latin Chopsticks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, it's been a crazy 2 weeks. Thank you so much for holding out. I appreciate you guys' patience. With that said, today we're actually gonna be having a breakfast place once again. And today we're gonna be having they claim that it's a Colombian cafe, but in reality I looked and there's like some Venezuelan mixed in there as well. So, take it with a grain of salt. They do say it's a Colombian bakery, but it is what it is. So today we're gonna be going to a Colombian, / Venezuelan bakery and cafe. We're gonna have some coffee, we're gonna have some delicious breakfast items, just to have give you guys some variety of other places to go to besides your typical American breakfast and the very limited amount of Venezuelan, Colombian, and other Hispanic breakfast places. So this is another one to add on to the list. This one is actually gonna be located in Lake Nona, which is really nice. It's not very touristy yet, but it is a very nice area here right next to Orlando. I would argue it's part of Orlando, but regardless, we're gonna head over there. We're gonna check that place out, see how it is. Maybe have ourselves some empanadas, some pan de bono, some buñuelos, maybe an arepa. We'll see. Once we get there, we'll figure it out. But enough talking, let's head out. All right, guys, awesome. We are here. We made it. We are at this Colombian bakery. Honestly, everything looked really, really good. There was so many items. I feel like I ended up ordering way too much, but enough. This is the first set of food that we ended up getting. Let's go ahead and check this out. All right, guys, so we have different items here. Of course, we started off with the Colombian empanadas. We have 2 cheese empanadas, 1 chicken, and 1 beef that we're gonna go ahead and try out. We have a pastel de pollo. Looks really good. It looks like a puff pastry is filled with chicken. Then we have this. This is amazing to me. This right here is gonna be their pancito de jamón y queso. It's a ham and cheese little pastry. And then this right here is something I used to have as a kid. I think I did it on a previous Colombian restaurant video. There's a palmera, or an elephant ear. Very good. And I do like the fact that they have the sauces packaged individually. So you have like a garlic sauce, a hot sauce, and I'm not really sure what this one is. I'll have to look. This kind of looks like chimichurri or something like that. But we'll try that out with the empanadas. But let's go ahead and start digging in right now. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna go ahead and dig into these empanadas. I do like the fact that they look like they're really, really, really stuffed. Let's go ahead and take a bite and see how it is. Oh man. Hey guys, take a look at this. I mean, this is super stuffed. Outside is nice and crispy, not overly greasy. The inside is extremely juicy. You have some nice, delicious little bit of shredded chicken in there. Squeeze it a little bit. I'm trying to see if I can't really show you the juice, but I promise it's very juicy when you bite down into it. The outside crunch is really nice as well. It's like a little bit of an explosion of textures in your mouth. You have a little bit of potato mixed into that. Adds a little bit of more, kind of like a creamy texture to the bite as well. Oh man, honestly, it's a texture explosion. This is really, really good. All right, the next one, this is gonna be the beef empanada. Let's go ahead and try this out. I just realized I was saying the other one was chicken. I messed up. The other one's beef. This is the chicken empanada. Honestly, it does look a lot drier, but once again, once you bite down, you do get a little bit of juiciness. Nice crunch. Chicken is just, my favorite thing is just how stuffed these are. Look how thin that crust is, nice and crispy. But most of what you're getting is the chicken itself. Usually, in some places, you have the unfortunate occurrence that the inside's not that filled and it's mostly like dough. You don't have to worry about that here. Let's go ahead and try some of these hot sauces. We'll try this one first. And we're gonna go ahead and just try this right here. So I think this is actually ketchup and mayo together, so salsa rosada. Let's go ahead and try that out. It's just regular salsa rosada, but oh man, it just adds so much to this little bite. Alright guys, next one we're gonna dig into is the cheese. I just picked this up. This is heavier than the other one. You guys gotta take a look at this. Now the outside's nice and greasy. It looks like it is really stuffed. You can kind of feel that cheese in there, which is really nice. I'm gonna take a bite. Hopefully I don't burn my mouth, but see how this is? Yes, here we go. Oh my God. So take a look at this. I mean, look at the amount of cheese that's in there. That is a lot. Cheese is actually kind of salty, but not too much. The dough is very sweet. I don't know if it's the same dough as these. Honestly, it doesn't feel like it. So this feels a lot more like a pastry, but the matching flavors of the saltiness of the cheese and the sweetness of the dough, really good. The inside texture of the dough is nice and soft. The outside's just a little bit crispy. That balance is really good. All right, guys, the next thing we're gonna try out wasn't actually initially part of the order, but this is a Yuka pastry. We're gonna go ahead and try out. It's a fried Yuka pastry. It's filled with beef, according to Danny. I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, I see what this is. So you guys ever had like the potato balls? Essentially, this is what this is, but the outside is Yuka. Unfortunately, I got mostly Yuka here, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the other part. So it's nice and crispy. Usually I'm used to more dark ones. Yuka, it's nice and fried. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the corner piece here. It has a little bit of beef in it, but let's go ahead and try it out, see how it is. All right, guys. That is good. Yuka's super soft, almost like mashed potatoes, but it's Yuka. But the inside, very strong flavors of ropa vieja, if you guys have ever had it. And that shredded beef flavor. But you really taste those bell peppers in there as well. It's like that balance between the onions, bell peppers, and things like that. That's the flavors that I'm getting through, but that's really, really good. All right, guys, so we're gonna dig into the next pastries. This right here is a pastel de pollo. It's very airy, very light. It is a puff pastry that's filled with chicken. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it looks like on the inside, so let's go ahead and take a bite and see how it is. All right, let's try this out. All right, that pastry is honestly really flaky and buttery crust on the outside. It's really, really good. The inside is filled with chicken. There's a lot of air in there, to be honest, but that's pretty much expected with these. But that chicken is nice and it's kind of salty, but then you get the buttery of the bread and just like the richness, and it all comes together really, really well. Luckily, these actually came out as we were in line waiting, so they're probably even better than they normally are now. The chicken itself has like almost like an olive taste to it. It's actually really pleasant though. All right, guys, now this is one of my favorite things, just because of how beautiful this looks. It's gonna be the pastel de jamón y queso. We're gonna go ahead and try this out. So look how shiny the dough is on the outside. This is like perfect, almost movie perfect, or commercial perfect little bread. The inside has rolled up ham and cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and take a bite and we're gonna see how it is. Okay, guys. This is gonna be an interesting one to explain. Cheese is the same cheese that the empanadas have, so it's nice and salty. The ham itself is also nice and salty, so you do get a lot of salt content from their bite. But the outside really reminds me of those yeast rolls that you get like when you're at Golden Corral or something like that. So they have this subtle sweetness to it that kind of balances the flavors around. So even though the cheese and the ham are pretty salty, that bread kind of tones it down a bit and it just all comes together so well. All right, guys, now we're gonna go into some of the major dishes. I'm already really full, but I'm gonna keep going for you guys. This is their Mallorca sandwich. Mallorca is kind of like a sweet bread that they make that they has powdered sugar on top, but they made a sandwich out of it. I was gonna get a regular croissant sandwich, but I figured that's something you can get almost everywhere, so I wanna try something a little bit different. Let's go ahead and check this out. Just take a look at this. You can see the powdered sugar on the top, and it's kind of like the dark texture of the bread itself, and it almost looks like a cake. You have a little bit of mayonnaise, you have tomatoes, you have ham. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and lift this up. We're gonna try a piece, see how it is. And then the bottom itself is full of cheese, but yeah, let's try this out. Honestly, that's odd, but not in a bad way. Unfortunately, my mustache is all messed up. I'm just gonna leave it. Check this out. So like I said, the inside, you have the tomatoes, you have lettuce, cheese, you have a ton of ham. That's a lot. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slices of ham in there. That's a lot. And then you have this kind of dense bread that's almost like a mixture of bread and cake. The sweetness, honestly, you can't really tell, mostly from the sugar. It's the only real sweetness that you get. But besides from that, you get that just bite. Most of it is the ham that you taste. It honestly tastes like a club sandwich to me. It's pretty good. All right, guys, so we're gonna go. We have 2 items left. Let's go ahead and rush through it here. This right here is the Reina Pepiada. I mean, look at the size of my face. This is massive. Let's go ahead and try this out. All right, guys, this right here, lettuce, avocado, chicken. It's just, there's so many different things in here. Some mayonnaise. This is a Venezuelan staple. I don't know if it'll be authentic, but we're about to try it out and see how it is. But look at, this is insane. Like, I don't even know how I'm gonna bite down into this. This is ridiculous. All right, guys, let's go ahead and try this here. Arepa on the outside, it's nice and crunchy. It does look like a Colombian arepa on the outside, which I'm concerned about because they're usually kind of simple on their arepas, but let's go ahead and try a little bit of the inside, the avocado piece, nice big chunk of avocado. All right, guys. So the flavor's pretty good. The arepa on the outside is honestly almost falling apart, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's a Colombian arepa and not a Venezuelan one. The inside's pretty good. One thing I did notice, it's a little bit salty. Maybe if they had cut that, back on the salt a little bit, it'd be even better. But you get the freshness, the creaminess of that avocado. You get the freshness of the lettuce. You get that delicious flavor of chicken. It all comes together pretty well. It's just a little bit salty for my taste. This right here is our café con leche. It's pretty dang good. Okay, we had a huge party sit next to us, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. But we're gonna try one last thing, and it's gonna be the elephant ear. I had to try it just because it's so nice, it's massive, and it looks really fresh, so I'm really excited for this. So basically the way this is made is just rolled up like flaky dough, pretty much. And it's all rolled up into like an elephant ear, to like a heart shape really, and they call it an elephant ear in Venezuela. But then they put like a liquid of like a simple syrup. So it's like water and like powdered sugar, and they put it all over it. Maybe a little bit of caramel, like Danny said. But let's go ahead and try this out. We do have one more thing after this that I almost forgot. I just gotta go get it. And it's one of their desserts. Huge recommendation is, yes, enjoy all the different foods and different bites that you can have, but 100% get their desserts. They're all like phenomenal in my opinion. But let's go ahead and try this out. You have a nice buttery crust on the inside, but because it's covered in that glaze of sugar, it's just so good. The outside's nice and hard and crusty, but when you bite in, I don't want to say it's soft, but it almost like comes apart in your mouth because, like I said, it's the flaky crust. It's really flaky. Super delicious. Not overly sweet. It's honestly, I love this. So it's one of my favorite desserts. So I might be biased on this review here. I'm gonna go get the dessert and a box to go, and I'm done. All right, guys. So this is the last thing we're gonna try here. There's a bunch of desserts in there. I mean, you guys got to take a look at all the different flavors of like little cakes and stuff like that they have. I can promise you guys that most of them are really, really good. Some of them aren't my cup of tea, but I have yet to have a bad one. And the reason I'm saying that, even though this is the first time we're coming here, is they're pretty generalized when you look at those desserts. I see them in like 90% of any type of like Hispanic bakery. So I can tell you guys, I'm like 90% sure it's gonna be delicious. Let's go ahead and check this out. So this one here is their chocolate German cake. It has coconuts, it has like shaved chocolate on top, literally. It has some chocolate cream, some chocolate cake. Let's go ahead and have a piece here to end the meal. I would suggest having this after having your coffee, because if you're a sweet coffee drinker, eating this is honestly gonna make the coffee a lot more bitter. All right guys, finally got it on the spoon. Let's go ahead and try this out and see how it is. The coconut itself is inside the cream itself. And the top, like I said, has that shaved chocolate on there. Flavor is really good. It's nice and cold. I would say it's almost to the point of it being frozen. But the flavor is just phenomenal on this. It's a very dense piece of cake, even though it looks really small. It's very dense. But 100% I would recommend it. And I would recommend just getting anything you want. You have chocolate cake, mocha cake, coffee cake. You have this one, which is the German chocolate cake. You have tiramisu. I mean, they have a whole bunch of different options. They have tres leches and things like that. All in all, I always suggest these places. I know the last time that we did a Colombian restaurant, unfortunately I had to do it outside in the car because they were so packed. It was a very small one that we went to. Personally, that is one of my favorite ones, but it's nice to have different options. This one's really good in my opinion, at least this location here in Lake Nona. I would 100% recommend you guys checking it out, trying to get a little bit different than your typical American breakfast or your typical scrambled. All right guys, perfect. So the memory got full on the card, so I had to switch cards. But like I was saying, if you want something different, you want something to try out that's not your typical, American or Southern breakfast where you have like your toast, scrambled eggs and bacon, 100% I would suggest coming here and trying this out, especially if you want a different experience. And the food is pretty dang good here. So all the information of this restaurant and this bakery really is going to be in the description down below. Take your time, take a look at it. Definitely I would recommend coming here. They open really early. I think they open at 7 a.m. most days, and I think one of the days they open at 6. So definitely check it out. Might be a great spot to stop right before you go to the theme parks. Or if you live here, it might just be something great to try over on the weekends. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad to be back. I'm so happy that I'm able to make videos again. But enough talking. I'm gonna go ahead and try to enjoy a little bit of the rest of this because I've already eaten a lot. But I will see you guys next Sunday. And until then, let's just keep on eating.